Hey guys, welcome back to Mondays. I'm Melissa Marin, your host. This week I am especially grateful for my very special creation, my beautiful daughter, who's actually running around most of the time while I'm recording and editing.
I like your microphone.
Thank you, Sugar Booga. You want to say hi?
Yeah.
Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, who are you?
Juju.
Juju. We call her Juju. What's your full name? Tell them. They want to know.
Juliana Layla.
Juliana Layla. And how old are you?
3.
Yes. Juliana Layla Cook is 3 years old. Great job, sweetie. Why don't you tell them what you want to talk about today?
Plants still.
Plants? Yeah. She's been telling me she wanted to talk about plants. And what about plants is your favorite?
Water comes down from the rain and it grows plants really high. That's my favorite part about plants.
Your favorite part about plants is that the rain comes down and it helps the plants grow. That concept is actually really beautiful because rain is sometimes, a little scary, and thunder and lightning is scary, and gray clouds are, a little creepy, but at the end of the day, when it rains, it's actually helping the plants, right? And is there anything else you want the people to know about you?
Plants. My favorite animal is lions. My favorite color is red.
And your favorite food?
Rice. My favorite food is rice.
And her favorite food is rice. I wish that I could be able to filter out her voice sometimes from my recordings, because I want everything to sound clear and good, and nobody wants any background noise. You always want to limit that, but it's just honestly really difficult for me. If it gets to the point where it's annoying, I'll do something about it, but I want this podcast to be real. I want this to be as real as possible, and I don't want to make my life seem like anything that it's not. Because that's the whole point of why I did this, to show people, everybody got responsibilities. Everybody has things to do, but we just have to find room for the things that we love. In the spirit of Juju's plant enthusiasm, I did go to IKEA, and I managed to get a beautiful Dracaena, a song of India, as her label says. I got her for $10, maybe tops. And I got her with a nice pretty little white pot because I think her leaves look so beautiful. They're a really common household plant, and you've probably seen them before. I have tons of artificial plants. I love being able to have plants that don't die and not having to take care of them, I guess. But I gave into the live plant thing because I think it'd be kind of cool. These are supposed to grow up until 20 feet. Right now, this is like an itty bitty thing. And I don't know if it will grow up to 20 feet, but I would like to take care of it. And maybe by broadcasting this on the show, maybe you guys will hold me accountable for if it dies, I bought it because it's a low maintenance plant. It's supposed to have be able to survive without little watering and little sunlight. So it's good for indoors. You don't have to water it daily, but you do have to just make sure the soil's not too dry. And then when the soil's not too dry, or when the soil is dry, then you just want to water it then. So, it's easy to keep. So I'm hoping that it'll be easy to grow. Hopefully. I don't know. I get paranoid about a lot of things, and I don't know if maybe I'm the only one who still gets paranoid about carbon monoxide. I know it's not as common as it used to be, but for some reason the idea of not being able to smell it or see it or feel it, that's so scary. Isn't that scary? And I don't want to scare you, but there's so many things that pollutants that can be in your house. It's wild because you think outdoors is where all the pollution is, but literally you can get particles in your air from everything in your house. Literally, whenever you clean, you use household products, whatever you spray, whatever you don't think about it when you're doing it, because you're just like, oh well, this is to keep my house clean, or this is to keep my hair straight, or this is to clean my pots, I don't know, dish detergent, furniture, carpet. These are all things that can pollute your air. So I personally, I have 2 humidifiers because I get really bad allergies. So I feel like any dust really just it's nonstop with the boogies. So I have 2 humidifiers that I feel like kind of clean the air pretty well, but I do want to try having more plants and seeing if it does make the air fresher. More plants, less dust, less sickness, less viruses, less nasty germs running around, you know. So I'm going to work my way to it, but this is my first one, my first real plant, and I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I encourage you guys to get your own little love fern. Everybody wants a fern they can raise. You know, everybody wants a dog, everybody wants a cat, everybody wants a little cute little kitty, something you can cuddle, but I feel like, what about, you know, raising a flower or raising beautiful trees? That can be equally as rewarding. We just need to make it, you know, end the stigma that plants are just super hard to take care of. But honestly, let's be honest, they are really pretty hard to take care of. But if I didn't give you any reason enough to go out and buy some real plants, then hopefully maybe Juliana will convince you.
It's important to have plants in your house. A hint is a creativity.
Creativity.
I can't do that.
Okay.
They make us happy. They help us focus. And they give us fresh air. I don't want to do this anymore.
Okay. Alrighty.
Thank you, everybody. See you later.
Bye, Juju. Thank you. I finally figured out the name that I want for my new little toy, my new little plant. Because she reminds me of my great-grandmother and a plant she used to have in her old apartment. And my grandma's name was Dolores. So I think I'll name her Dolores, and I'm going to take care of her even more because I feel like it's a little special now. It reminds me of her because these leaves are very familiar. And if you guys look up a Dracaena, you'll see what I'm talking about. But my grandma had a ton of plants she used to water. I remember she used to love plants. And I never really understood it when I was a kid, I guess. And I suppose I still don't really understand it. But this is, I hope you guys are listening to me start my green thumb. Quote, green thumb. Not really a green thumb at all. But I guess kind of explore what it was that my grandma loved so much about having all these plants in her house. And whenever I think about her, I do get a little emotional. But I always thought the story of how my daughter came into my life and how my great-grandmother's passing kind of shocked me. Both. My grandma passed away April 2014, and she passed away after suffering from Alzheimer's for quite a long time. And it just got worse over and over the years. As I'm sure you've heard about many people who suffer from Alzheimer's. It's a really scary disease. When I found out I was about to turn 20, and my grandma was going on, I think, 93 years old. So we all knew it was coming up, but even still, when things like that happen, I guess you don't really know how to prepare for them. And a few months later, I had become pregnant unexpectedly with my first child. And I at the time when I found out about being pregnant, I didn't really look at everything and put everything in perspective. You know, it was just still such a shock to me to be getting pregnant on birth control, you know. But whenever I look back, you know, I look back a lot. I like to look back a lot. And it's times like this that I don't think looking back is wrong. When you look at your life from all angles, and put it all together, like literally put it all together, the past, the present, the future, like it's wild. And to think, you know, my great grandmother left at a strange time, but my daughter also seemed to me that she was as if she was coming at a strange time. But timing is just something that can be seen kind of magical, I think, if you look at it right. And since we're speaking of timing, I realize right now I'm in the beginning of this, so a lot of this might be about me and my stories, but I definitely don't want it to be like that at all. And little by little, I'm gonna be having more people on, and I hope to get a lot of stories from you guys. And I know that I've said this before, but I want you guys to really understand that it really does mean a lot to me when you guys share your stories. I'm sure you already know the importance of storytelling. And since I've already told you one story today, I shall tell you another. I have been trying to get this podcast out onto as many outlets as possible, and, you know, trying to consider which ones are most popular. And I was really upset because for a couple of weeks now, I've actually been trying to get my podcast onto Apple iTunes, like the podcast app, and I haven't been able to do that because there was just a problem with their web page, but like an outage, or like, you know, something that other people were seeing too, and they just couldn't have the answer. Like, I spent days just doing this over and over and over and again, just trying to get on there, and I was just so frustrated. But in spite of that, I kind of was a little more driven to get my podcast out onto other outlets, and I was thankfully able to get it on Spotify. So if you listen to Spotify or have a Spotify account, you can definitely find me on there. And I also decided to add YouTube in there. I have to work on a good angle to record like film, because I think I might steer towards that. I didn't want to do that at first, but I feel like I'm very expressive with my face and my hands and my eyeballs. So I think it would help having a camera. So look forward to that. And as well as the webpage. I worked hard on my website, so I don't mind if you guys just listen to it on there. I know I don't really get to see as many subscribers on there, but I am doing this for subscribers. But this whole idea of having more plants indoors, and I guess being a little more in touch with my nature side, had me a little bit thinking about my next, I guess, poll or my next question for you guys, because I'm curious. I grew up in, you know, a pretty urban area. I'm a city girl at heart, but I do remember, you know, things moving at a lot faster pace than where I am now. And here in Jacksonville, you know, it's all about that Southern hospitality, but it seems as if people move just a little bit slower. And it's like life is not as busy. But when you think about it, life is always busy. But I guess the difference, and I've come to this, I think, is some people want to live fast and some people want to live slow. I don't know if I need to clarify. I think living fast, I kind of compare living fast and living slow like a sprinter and a marathoner. Yeah. You know, like you have a sprint where you do a long distance fast, but super fast. And then you have a marathon where it's just like a lot longer, but you have to have that endurance. So I guess my first question to the listeners would be, what would you categorize your lifestyle as? Do you live fast or do you live slow? And how does it compare to where you live? You live in an urban area or a rural area? Rural. I like that word. Rural. I actually wanted to dedicate this episode to my great grandma that I mentioned before. I know that it's been a couple of years, but I'm still learning about her and how I'm just like her in some ways. And if you have somebody in your life right now who's currently there, or even if they're not currently there and have been there since you were a kid and basically raised you, and you know that they're a lot older now and, you know, maybe not really living the same way or in the same health, give them a hug, thank them, regardless if they remember or not, and let them know that you love them. Thank you so much again, guys. Sorry if this one was a little short, but we're just getting the ball rolling, and I hope to hear from you guys. Have a great, wonderful week. I start school tomorrow again, and I'm gonna poop my pants when I wake up. Yeah. See you guys next week. Tell me about your mommy.
My mommy is Melissa, and her loves doing homework, and her loves a task, and her loves other stuff too.
Like what?
Like play with me.